Welcome to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Hughes, along with Brad the Dad. Today, Pat might be a little bit late, might not be here at all. We don't really know, but we got a jam-packed show for you. Today, we're going to be doing our podcast league draft. That's right, a 10-team half-point per reception league, and it is going to be jam-packed with awesomeness. We're also going to have some incredible news for you. Get ready for an amazing show. You ready, Brad? All right. Well, Brad, we got a couple things that we're going to go ahead and talk about. We're doing this draft. It's 10 teams. We're going to go ahead and shout out the teams that we're going to be in this league with. We got the Backseat QB Pod. We have the F3 Podcast, Fantasy Lens Podcast. We have the FF Face Off. Good job, guys. Garage Guys Fantasy Sports. I love their logo, by the way. It's an amazing logo. Fantasy Fuel. We got Sometimes a Fantasy Podcast. We got the Fifth Down Fantasy Podcast and the Couch Scouts Pod. We're getting ready to jump this thing off in 5 minutes. Brad, what's just on your mind right now?
So first off, I want to tell everybody that listens to us, go out and listen to these guys too. Give them a listen or two, a couple downloads, a couple clicks.
Yeah, give them some love. I mean, we're trying to all get our names out there. We're trying to do something. I mean, until one of us makes it to ESPN or NFL Network.
Yeah, these are all independent podcasts, just like us, just trying to bunch of guys in garages, back doors, basements, somewhere hanging out, just doing this stuff. But I'm pretty excited for this. You know, this is our first real test, kind of, if you think about it. Like, we play with people that, you know, not experts and just people like to play and take it kind of seriously. But these are guys that are like us and want to make a living. So this is kind of putting our name out there, putting a little bit of reputation on the line.
Yeah, we need to do well.
Yes.
We will do well.
If we come in last, we might have to just close up shop.
I'm not closing up anything. We're not coming in last. I feel confident about that. I think some of these guys, this happens in every draft, right? Your emotions get high and you end up taking a gamble.
Oh, like I said, we had our home draft yesterday. I was more excited for this one today than the one yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
So you haven't slept very well 2 days in a row?
Yep, exactly.
Oh man, yeah, I was I haven't either, really, but I've been excited mostly, and we already know our starting position, which is good, right? We got the number 2 overall spot.
Yep.
So we kind of knew what our options were starting out, which is great. We talked about it. We talked about it with our other co-host who isn't here right now. Love you, Pat. Miss you, bud.
Yeah, hopefully he finds Elsa the Aussie running around.
Yeah, she's so precious. We need to make sure Elsa the Aussie, and if he just waves that Skippy around, eventually she'll show up. So we got the number 2 spot, and we're already talking because the Backseat QB Pod mentioned that they're going to take David Johnson. And if they do, we're going with the Gurley man.
You have to. He was the number 1 player in fantasy last year.
Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's a half-point PPR, but the Gurley man is the guy that we all agreed on unanimously. It was like,
he's the perfect ox to be pulling our wagon.
He's definitely going to pull this wagon. And if not, his backup is solid. But we're going to have such a stacked team, I feel that we're going to be fine no matter what. I mean, you won a championship last year with David Johnson going down. No problem for you.
Yeah, because of Gurley. I mean, he was so ridiculous. I don't expect that this year. I think we've talked about it on the podcast. But with Gurley, and then when it comes back around, we're probably going to target another running back with definitely one of those 2 picks.
Yeah, because I've done a few drafts myself where I've taken the wide receiver on my second turn, and I hate the makeup of my team when I do that.
Yeah. I do wonder with this podcast, with these, being guys like us that are trying to break into the business, being so-called experts, if anybody does anything crazy, or if everybody sticks to the standard, what everybody says to do, or if somebody tries to shake it up here in the back end or something. Because I can see that happening, because everybody's trying to make a name for themselves through this podcast. This bragging rights here.
We're out to win.
Oh, we're always out to win.
And if we're out to win, we're going to take some chances if we have to.
We might be taking quarterback early.
I mean, you based upon value, right? Yeah. And so I'm not going to sit there and take, the 20th running back overall whenever I could go out and have a top 5 receiver. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna get some good picks on here, and we're going to do well. I feel confident in our ability here, Brad.
Yep. I am excited.
I'm sad that we're down 1 leg on our tripod, but we're going to make this work.
Yep. We'll prop it up against the wall.
Yeah, we'll alternate between who is the primary on each pick. So since we both unanimously agreed on the first one, I want Brad to get the opportunity to get more picks in. He was our league champion last year, so that is only more fair. So he will be the one who recommends players for the second pick, and then we'll decide together. And then it'll go so on and so forth, third, fourth, fifth, and we'll alternate like that.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, too. We did a mock draft on the last episode, and we kind of try to keep you guys informed on every pick that went through. For this one, we're kind of just going to go through our process of talking out a pick in between our picks. Kind of like what's going on in our mind while picks are getting made. Maybe not focusing so much on, David Johnson went, Barkley went. We're not going to focus that much on that kind of stuff. We're going to tell you guys exactly what we're thinking. And obviously, if a pick happens that affects we'll bring that up. But for the most part, we're going to talk to you about what's going through our mind and what we're thinking about when we're sitting at the draft table, getting ready to make a pick.
Absolutely, because as you know, this is National Draft Day. Some of you might have a couple drafts left next weekend or throughout this weekend. If you do, this is going to be important information. You said you have one left?
Yep, one more. And that's my Sweet Keeper League where I have David Johnson, Todd Gurley, and Michael Thomas.
I feel like he had a cheat code to get that done. Yeah. Speaking of cheat codes, I know this is off topic, but while we're waiting for this draft to get loaded, so the creators of GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 came out, and they said that if you had Oddjob, you were cheating.
I mean, did you ever play with Slappers Only? I know we talked about it yesterday, but Slappers Only in GoldenEye was probably the most funnest mode to play with your friends in middle school because you could just throw your Surge Soda at each other, slap each other in the back of the head, and slap the players.
Yeah, it was bananas, dude. It was crazy. So I just I can't believe they finally came out and said. I always felt that way, but you just wanted confirmation, and it's been almost 20 years.
Yep.
So there's another thing. We'll go ahead and I guess while we're waiting, we'll talk about a little bit of news right now. So Marquise Lee, it looks like he's going to be pretty severely injured.
Yeah, he was carted off the field, so that's never a good sign. Obviously, they're probably going to do some X-rays, MRIs this week, get more information as it comes out. But it does not, like you said, it does not look good. It's never good when a player gets carted off the field, or in the case of Adrian Peterson, carried off the field because you didn't think about how to get a cart onto the new Viking Stadium.
Yeah, it was very, very sad news to see. I just hope that he does recover very well. Already the passing game in Jacksonville didn't look great, but we hope that they recover and they get a little bit better. Next, so John Ross had a big play, 57-yard touchdown. He looked great on that one play, but he showed off that speed. He's so fast.
He was hampered by injuries last year, though, too, so that really hurt him. He never really got to get the wheels going.
Yeah, and another news from that game is Joe Mixon. He got 30 yards on 7 touches. Joe Mixon still doesn't look great. I think that offensive line is still kind of struggling a little bit. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, so hopefully the offensive line there is going to be the issue with them. Preseason, I don't put too much stake in how players actually perform in preseason. I just want to see usage. And the fact that you used him when he was on the field, that's the positive. And he came out there, he was the first one out. They didn't do anything weird with Giovanni Bernard starting the game or anything. Because when you look over at the Jets, when you go up to New York, and you looked at Below Plow actually started the game.
Plow?
Yeah, started the game over Isaiah Crowell, who was out of concussion protocol. And that's the stuff that I'm really looking for more in preseason than actual production. Because production, obviously the team's not calling their great plays and not trying to give anything away.
Yeah,
they're just trying to get people moving and going and, maybe get the offensive line. They're not calling a lot of audibles and doing all the crazy stuff that you're going to do. Defenses are playing base defense.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the Rams game from last weekend. They didn't want to show anything to the other team because they were playing that team week 1 of the season. So it was kind of a weird situation. In other news, we got Eric Decker. He retired. Do we care?
Nope. He had some good years for your Broncos.
Yeah, but we don't really care.
But fantasy-wise, he was always a decent little late-round wide receiver.
Yeah, and there's the Pats possibly looking at Dez. What do you think about that?
It's Dez Bryant. We've seen plenty of wide receivers go there and then into the twilight of the career and do great things.
Well, Ocho Cinco didn't, but Moss did.
Yeah.
Moss
we see
maybe
not wide receivers, the players. Corey Dillon revitalized his last few years of his career there.
That's true. And then they got another Cincinnati running back now, Rex Burkhead. And we think good things are going to happen for those guys. All right, so there's other talk. David Njoku's back at practice. Corey Coleman, they said that he might not even make the roster. That's kind of surprising, but I expect him to land on his feet. He's just so talented.
Yeah, I think when he got there, wasn't he hampered by injuries since he's gotten to Buffalo?
He's had some. I mean, he had injuries in Cleveland. I mean, he kept breaking those fingers, which is kind of hard for a receiver to catch with broken fingers.
Josh Allen went down today, but he came back into the game. He was cleared from concussion protocol, so he did take a nice little hit on the turf, and maybe because it was preseason, maybe the NFL is being a little more cautious and trying to say we're protecting players a little more in preseason. Had it been a real game, I didn't really see the hit, but I wonder if they want to take him out.
Yeah, I think so. And then Tyrod got a little hurt. He came back in that game though, which was good, but that was an ugly game. 5-0 over the Giants, or not over the Giants. Excuse me. It was 5-0 over the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. Nick Foles had 4 turnovers. Doesn't look good for your Eagles offense, but Tyrod Taylor, that Cleveland defense looked scary, man. They looked good.
Evan Ingram is in concussion protocol right now too.
Yeah. So there's that. Alex Collins didn't play a lot. Mark Ingram still got those yards, and they're gonna. I have to believe that whenever he comes back, they're gonna feed him. Like they're gonna give Mark Ingram those touches. And all of you who are drafting your boy Alvin Kamara early, think about that. It's gonna look good in the beginning, but he's gonna have to have record number of efficiency in order to keep up what he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mark he's not going to be what he was last year. I don't think he's going to be a top. I think what it was like 6 or 7 in the season. I don't see that happening for either one of these running backs. They're going to be more of your 12 to 16 range probably.
Yeah,
they both could finish there, which is great. But with the price you're paying for Alvin Kamara, obviously Mark Ingram probably won't finish there. He'll probably finish there maybe points per game, but in total he's obviously not going to because he's missing 6 games.
That's true.
So he's probably going to finish outside the top 20. He's not going to look good at the end of the year numbers, but when you actually look at what he did for you week to week when he came back, I think you'll be looking pretty good.
Do we want to talk about Eric Ebron? 5 for 54 with a touchdown. Do you think he could supplant your boy Jack Doyle, or do you think he's still going to be the number 2 tight end there?
So they said they're going to try to do a lot of crazy things with Eric Ebron, but I don't see them using 2 tight ends like that, splitting him out in the slot. I mean, they could use him as a slot guy, but T.Y. moves around the field so much and takes up so much. And Andy Luck's he always works his tight ends. So Eric Ebron could be good. The problem with it's going to be which tight end is going to be great that day. And I think we're going to run into a lot of that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they do have 2 really good ones, unlike San Francisco. So this was an interesting stat that I ran across. San Francisco, they played their game. Jimmy Garoppolo was 9 of 19, and they don't really have a red zone target. I mean, when you think about their receiving core and their tight end, you have Vance McDonald as their starter. They have Marquise Goodwin, who's not a large guy. Pierre Garçon, not a large guy. I mean, hold
on. George Kittle?
Yeah, George Kittle is not really a great red zone guy. Kyle Juszczyk doesn't play for them anymore. I think I'll have to check on that. I don't really keep up with fullbacks too much. But, I mean, that could be why your boy Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns. And I think that could continue this year. Some other stuff. Derrick Henry had a quiet night. Dion Lewis got 6 touches. Corey Davis didn't get a catch again. Are we starting to worry about Corey Davis a little bit?
I'm worried about that whole offense. So they brought in Matt LaFleur, right?
Yes.
So the quarterback coach or the offensive coordinator for the Rams, correct? Yes. But we all know who the real offensive coordinator was in LA last year. It was Sean McVay. But maybe they're doing a lot of the stuff we talked about. Maybe they're not showcasing a lot of their gadgety plays or the different types of plays, rub routes and all that other fun stuff. I do worry with that whole offense because if Mariota can't pick it up like how Jared Goff picked it up, or they try to maybe do too much, too fast, we could see the wheels falling off that Corey Davis train. I know you're high on Corey Davis. I was high on him going into last year, but after last year,
I'm starting to feel like I might be jumping off this wagon, which makes me nervous, and I don't like it, but I haven't seen anything that makes me feel good about him yet. I still own him in our Dynasty League. I feel great about that. Long term, I think that he could really turn into something, but right now this offense is just a mess.
Yeah. Well, what the thing is, though, with a lot of your receivers, it usually takes 3 years for them to get right, to get great, have the breakout. It's usually the 3rd year breakout is what you usually see. Odell and a few of these other guys were exceptions to the rules. We had a nice little stretch of exceptions to the rules. So maybe this year he makes it a little bit better. Obviously, he can't be much worse than last year. He's got to get the catches. He had a lot of drops last year, and that killed him.
Yeah, it did hurt.
So that's what I want to see. I'm going to watch him in the games probably when the season starts up and see what the concentration level looks like on him when he's running down the field and trying to get in the end zone.
Yeah,
Because everybody forgets Melvin Gordon, who you are high on this year, his rookie season was terrible. He didn't get a single touchdown.
it is true. I am high on Melvin Gordon this year, and I took him yesterday, and I feel great about it.
You took him early.
I took him in the first round. I had the 9th pick of the first round in a 12-team PPR draft yesterday, and I took him
over Saquon, didn't you?
Odell Beckham was still.
Yeah, Odell, Saquon. I'm trying to remember who else was on the board. There was a couple of the
No, I want to say Saquon was already gone. Leonard Fournette had just been drafted. Kareem Hunt was still there. Yeah, Kareem Hunt was still there. Odell Beckham was still there. Nuke was still there, I believe. And I just feel very good about Melvin Gordon this year. So the Chiefs, pretty decent preseason game. Kareem Hunt found the end zone. Patrick Mahomes still looks great. I'm almost nervous at how good he looks. Like, I understand that you're a huge Patrick Mahomes believer, but Patrick Mahomes to me is like, I'm wondering if we're not getting a little fool's gold here. But the guy, right now, he looks like the real deal.
So the thing with Patrick Mahomes, why I'm high on him, I know you keep saying he has a terrible schedule this year, but the defense is going to be bad there. I think the defense in Kansas City is going to regress a lot.
You think it's going to be like a Blake Bortles playing from behind? That's what makes him fantasy relevant?
That's what I think it is. And he's got that strong arm, so they're going to just let him air it out. And he has fast receiver. I mean, he has Tyreek Hill. You're not probably overthrowing Tyreek Hill.
He's so strong.
That's the one plus, is because of the weapons he has fits his makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like, Alex Smith was a deep threat quarterback last year because of Tyreek Hill. And Alex Smith does not take chances. We all have seen this for a long time.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill had some big plays. We're just going to kind of start running through some things a little faster now. Amir Abdullah got the chance to start last night. Blew it, of course, because that's what Amir Abdullah does. Teddy Bridgewater played very well again. He looks like he's going to be a hot candidate, especially if a quarterback goes down. The Jets are going to get some potential trade offers for him. Amari Cooper, he had a big catch last night where he actually went up and looked like a very great receiver. I don't know if that'll continue, but that was encouraging. Kerryon Johnson was third in line for the Detroit running backs last night, so it looks like we were accurate on that when we're saying it's going to take some time for him to develop and emerge as a starter there. Overall, the whole Lions offense didn't look great, but it's okay. Ty Montgomery got hurt again. We're not really surprised about that, but it is what it is.
We're going to pause this because they're having some issues with the draft real quick. That way we're not keeping you guys on here all night. And we'll come back and be drafting when we come back. All right, guys, we're back. So the draft just fired up. David Johnson went number 1, and then we came in there, swooped in like some pterodactyls, and grabbed up Todd Gurley.
All right, so now we got to be worrying about our next pick. I mean, we're not really worried about what these other guys are doing. We have a pretty good idea. Le'Veon Bell and Zeke will go. So what we're thinking is we want to go with another running back on our next turn.
Yeah.
Around that area, we're going to have guys like Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Howard, Devonta Freeman, Joe Mixon. So those are going to be the running backs available to us in that area.
So kind of talking this out with you, if Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Howard are both there, we take Christian McCaffrey and hope Jordan Howard falls back down to us, and we just set our running back roster up perfectly.
So for me, I think the better value is with Jordan Howard no matter what. I would rather take Jordan. And the reason I say that is because this is half point.
It is half point. So, yeah, we could go Jordan Howard. No.
I do want to go Jordan Howard. Now, unless a primo receiver is there, and we're talking like one of our top 3 guys, which we don't expect to be there, then we will be going with the running back. But
yeah,
if Antonio Brown's there, or Odell Beckham's there, or DeAndre Hopkins, we're not going to be stupid and pass on one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm 100% cool with one of the big-time running backs. We can look and see what wide receivers are there.
Now, let's say Jordan Howard and Christian McCaffrey are both gone. Do you want to go the Joe Mixon route?
I think in the second round would be too early. We could probably get him on a turn.
What about Devonta Freeman?
Even then, I don't even know if those two, Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Howard, are gone. I'd rather go wide receiver there.
I have to agree with you.
And then we can get Joe Mixon all the way back through. Using it, even though, I mean, it's only 3-pick difference of a spot, but taking Joe Mixon there in the second round just seems too high for me.
Yes. So Christian McCaffrey did just go off the board. So the gentleman who got him got Leonard Fournette, and they got Christian McCaffrey. Two very solid picks. The real NFL.
All right, guys, so we're back. So we're setting up here. We still have Jordan Howard on the board, who's probably going to be our target right here. Right, Josh?
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's 3 people in the queue above him, Julio Jones and Devonta Freeman, 2 people. So we're hoping that one of those guys go. Yes.
Julio. So Jordan Howard right here. We can just go ahead and pencil that in. I'm not worried about bye weeks yet. I don't even know what Todd Gurley's bye is. Don't care. Doesn't affect me at all.
No one cares.
Yep.
I'd rather take a L 1 week than have a bad team.
We can figure that out. So Devonta Freeman just went, and are we looking Joe Mixon? I don't really like the wide receivers up here. I think we'd be reaching a little bit. Maybe even Gronk. I don't know how you feel about that. Might be a little early for tight end.
You know how I don't like taking.
I know you don't like tight ends, and I don't either, especially Gronk with the injury possibilities.
I think in the 3rd round, Joe Mixon could be a good idea.
If Joe Mixon's there, we could take him.
Other than that, T.Y. Hilton and Stephon Diggs are really the only other people that interest me.
Yeah, and I like Stephon Diggs this year. I just feel like this spot, we really, because we don't pick again for a while, so we have to make this count.
So what do you think? What's your call?
Well, I want to go running back. If Mixon's there, I say we take Mixon. Because looking at the board right now, we only have 7 wide receivers gone. Right? So a lot of people are going to probably be snatching up wide receivers on the way back through. We could grab, Stephon Diggs. But even then, if we scroll down to the next time we're coming up and we look at wide receivers, I'm pretty sure we have plenty of good wide receivers.
So he picked Diggs. So we got the choice between Mixon, Green, Evans, Hilton, McCoy, McKinnon. Those are the guys up. So Mixon or A.J. Green, I like both of those options. What are you thinking?
I mean, I do like A.J. Green if we want to go with that wide receiver, unless you want to fill our slot for the running back. If we're going to be really hurting for wide receiver if we don't go A.J. Green. There are going to be a lot of wide receivers probably coming off the board in this next round. But obviously Joe Mixon is definitely not coming back to us. So it comes down to we want to build that running back depth. And I'd say we take Joe Mixon, get that running back depth.
Boom. We took Joe Mixon, people.
Because if he isn't what he's supposed to be, then we still have Todd Gurley, Jordan Howard. It doesn't hurt us.
Exactly. I love our team so far. We just went running back. And I guess we're going 0 wide receiver strategy.
We'll start snatching them up here in a minute.
No, but now that we have those 3 guys that we feel great about, we're the only team that went running back so far.
There's still one more team that could do it.
Yeah, there is one more team that could do it, but right now I feel pretty good with that. I always feel like there's more depth of receiver than there.
Yeah, and we're probably going to see – so Gronk just went.
Not a bad pick. I just think for us it was too early. And now those guys, they have one person in each position, Julio, Le'Veon Bell, and Gronk, and now they're going to be hurting for another running back whenever their turn comes back around. But they didn't have a lot of great options down here.
Yeah, especially this being half-point PPR. Jordan Howard's going to be getting touchdown work. Joe Mixon probably going to be on the goal line back there with Jeremy Hill gone. Giovanni Bernard's not going to be a goal line back.
No. And that's the thing that you have to remember is, like, you can't draft these guys based off of PPR rankings. I mean, this is half point. We got 3 running backs. We're going to be good. All right, so our picks got taken. The guys that we wanted for our receivers, T.Y., Larry Fitzgerald, Adam Thielen, and Amari Cooper. So right now, we already have 3 solid running backs. We don't need another one. We have our choice. Oh, Travis Kelce just got taken. So now we have our choice between Zach Ertz or Aaron Rodgers. That's really where we want to go with this pick.
Or do we get LaShawn McCoy?
And have 4 starting running backs. We don't need him.
I know we don't need him, but if Aaron Rodgers goes right here.
Well, I think we go Zach Ertz instead of Aaron Rodgers. Instead
Zach
of
Ertz,
McCoy.
And then get a... So,
Kenyon Drake.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers is on the board along with Zach Ertz. We have been preaching don't go quarterback early this whole time, and we might be the first podcast to take a quarterback because we don't need the running backs that are up there. LaShawn McCoy, J.J.
We don't want Juju. We don't want Chris Hogan. Me personally, because of the depth at quarterback, I would rather go Ertz.
Okay, you're going to take Ertz. I'm fine with Ertz. I'll take.
You
We
feel
did
good
this on
about
our
it?
mock the other day. Remember we did the exact same thing on our mock.
Yeah, we did.
Same spot.
You feel good?
So I'm good with Zach Ertz there. He's solid. He's the Eagles' number one red zone target, especially Alshon Jeffrey's gone. Fired up. We
It
did it,
just
Zach
happened.
Ertz. So on our turn back through, we're looking at either Jarvis Landry, maybe Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers. So Deshaun Watson's also there. We don't want that. Even Mark Ingram's over there.
We have set it and forget it.
We have so many running backs already. We have to go receiver. I hope Jarvis Landry will be there. That's the guy that we both agree that we want.
Yeah.
It's too early to take Brandon Cooks or Marquise Goodwin.
We might be able to get Goodwin on our way back through. Is what I'm hoping on here.
I don't think we will, but if not, it's okay because there are guys like Marvin Jones, Corey Davis, Crabtree will be there, Julian Edelman, who
It's half point, so it takes a little bit of his value away, but not a lot.
Emmanuel Sanders will be there. So there's still plenty of depth at that receiver position. We're not too worried about it. And we're going to take a receiver on our way back.
So the biggest problem I think we ran into right now by taking Zach Ertz was the fact of like Trey Burton we could have got a lot later.
Yeah, and especially me, I've been preaching it that I think Trey Burton's upside is going to be like top 5 tight end.
Travis Kelce, yes. I mean, that's what people say. He's taking the Travis Kelce role, and that's what everybody's hoping on. And praying
That's what
on.
we're hoping. But so we talked about this before we started the show is value. Yes. You have to take value where it's at. We filled a need when we got Zach Ertz, and it was between him or a quarterback. And tight ends, especially our big 3, they hold more value.
The tier break is so big.
Yeah, it's like it falls off a cliff.
Yeah, look at Jimmy Graham last year.
So this guy went Rex Burkhead.
So Rex Burkhead comes off the board. So this is what I'm liking, though. A lot of these teams are reaching for running backs right now. They're reaching for Rex Burkhead, Kenyon Drake.
Allen Robinson.
And we don't have to worry about it. So Jarvis Landry's there. It's half-point PPR. He's probably the one I'm leaning to more than Juju or Josh Gordon.
There's also Demaryius Thomas.
Even Demaryius Thomas. With Demaryius Thomas, if it's full point, I still would give the edge to Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is going to lead the team in targets.
I'm good with
I'm fine with Jarvis Landry. He'll be a safe wide receiver. We can take some risk a little bit later, but we need to make this wide receiver spot stick for us.
All right. There it is, gentlemen.
So we have Todd Gurley, Jordan Howard, Joe Mixon, Zach Ertz. Jarvis.
I like it.
It's good. So what Jarvis Landry does is it gives us a safe wide receiver. It's not a huge upside guy, but I don't have to worry about Jarvis Landry losing us weeks. If Amari Cooper would have been there, it would have scared me a lot more because Amari Cooper is going to have some big games, but he's also going to have some bad games. And with Jarvis Landry, you get what you get. It's 10 catches and hopefully 100 yards. Maybe falls in the end zone or get something.
And I feel comfortable saying that our running back core in a half-point PPR is the best in this entire league. With our 3 guys, I don't think the only person that comes close to us is maybe the guy who has Fournette, McCaffrey, and McKinnon. But I don't like McCaffrey in a half point, and McKinnon, I'm not high on McKinnon at all. Aaron Rodgers finally came off the board. McCoy came off the board. We're looking to go another receiver, probably.
Another receiver. We're going to look at what quarterbacks are there, too. I have a little plan that I told Josh when we were off air about, and maybe we'll let you guys into it if it's possible. But
he wants to go with his boy.
I do. All right, so we're looking wide receiver here, right, Josh? We got Marcus Goodwin's off the board, who I know we were kind of both looking at right there. I know you like Golden Tate. We're up in 1 pick right here. This guy that's going right ahead of us has 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback. He could go about anywhere here. So we'll see what falls to us. He could grab Golden Tate from us. If Golden Tate goes, my thing is I'm actually looking Russell Wilson. If not this pick, on our turn pick.
And you know what?
Because that's our set it and forget it quarterback.
And I'm going to say this. I'm on board.
Yeah, we don't have to worry. Russell Wilson, with his legs, gives us a great floor.
The floor is so high.
Yes.
It's like it's
and he's
flat.
not shooting through it.
He's definitely not going to shoot through this floor.
Yeah. I mean, people talk about the weapons Russell Wilson has. Russell Wilson's never had great weapons.
Yeah. He's never had great weapons. So if you want, I would be down to take him.
But I want to take him on a turn. I don't want to take him here in the 6th. I'll take him in the 7th.
If he's there.
If he's there. If he goes, we can fill another need. We don't need to worry about quarterback. We can take quarterback way later. He's the only quarterback I want. If Golden Tate's here, I do want to take Golden Tate. I want to get us another good wide receiver.
Yes, I really want Golden Tate here. And he just went.
So now we're looking. So the top on the board is Marshawn Lynch, Tom Brady, Marvin Jones. I like Russell Wilson better than Tom Brady. Pat's not here to talk me out of it, so that's who I want, because after that it's Greg Olsen, Corey Davis, Alshon Jeffrey, Will Fuller. It's Buck.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get our value here.
Okay, we're taking Russell Wilson.
Third quarterback off the board. This is against everything we believe.
This is the earliest I've taken a quarterback in a non-standard league.
Yeah, this is
in years.
It goes against everything we believe, but based on the value.
Yeah, the value. He is my number 2 quarterback this year, behind Aaron Rodgers. He's my number 2 quarterback. He was number 1 quarterback last year.
I'm okay with it. I feel really good with our roster so far. Now, after the turn,
we need wide receiver help.
We do need wide receiver help. The issue with this is the wide receivers that are left are not
great. And we would probably either reach here, or I'm not even opposed to taking another running back. If we look at what running backs are there, it's never a problem to have too many running backs. But the problem with this is that the running backs are out there. Maybe Jamal Williams, but he is going to be the starter in Green Bay.
Rashad Penny's still out there. Chris Carson. I don't really like those guys. To me, I might even – the problem with Marvin Jones –
and just so everybody knows, Kerryon Johnson's gone, or he would be a set it, forget it. We'd already plugged it in. We'd already set it.
Yeah, he would have been the guy we would have taken right there instead of Russell Wilson. But that did not come
We have
true.
Crabtree, who
is the number 1 guy.
He is the number 1 guy. I worry about Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco wasn't there and they went to Lamar Jackson, I probably would be higher on Crabtree.
Okay, so let's just say if we're taking a receiver here, it's Marvin Jones, Corey Davis, Crabtree, or Sanders.
Yeah, because Edelman's here, but we have to fill our roster slot.
We talked about earlier in the show Corey Davis not clicking with Mariota yet, but I think it's going to happen. Are you willing to go Corey Davis, or do you got something else in mind here?
If we go Corey Davis here, what we're going to need to do is hedge our bets on our next pick through and grab another wide receiver.
Well, we're probably going to need to do that anyway.
Yeah, so I'm thinking if we go, I'm fine with Corey Davis there. I would like to grab a Robbie Anderson on the way back through.
So for me, it's Corey Davis, Marvin Jones, or that's really it.
Yeah.
So Corey Davis or Marvin Jones, which one you like better?
Let's go Corey Davis. Let's take the upside of Corey Davis, right? I'm all about upside here. We're in the middle rounds. You got to go with the upside. We're grabbing lotto tickets. I was talking to Josh about this before. When you go buy lotto tickets, you don't just go buy all $20 scratchers. You buy a couple $20 scratchers. You get a couple $1 scratchers. You get a $2. And chances are you're going to win more money off the $1 scratchers than you are off the $20 scratchers.
Bingo. And then your feelings aren't as hurt whenever you lost that dollar, too.
Because when you buy a $1 scratch and you win $2, you doubled your money.
That's right. So we went with Corey Davis. So right now our roster is looking great. Todd Gurley, Jordan Howard, Joe Mixon, Zach Ertz, Jarvis Landry, Russell Wilson, and Corey Davis. We're a little weak at wide receiver, but I don't care. We're going to get another one on the way back. Probably a gentleman like a Robbie Anderson, maybe even a Sammy Watkins or Emmanuel Sanders. I feel great so far. How about you, Brad?
I love this. I mean, Russell Wilson being our quarterback, it solidifies so much stuff with our team. We don't have to worry about carrying 2 quarterbacks and playing matchups. With Russell Wilson, I don't care what the matchup is.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about our quarterback. We don't have to worry about our tight end situation. We don't have to worry about our running back situation. We're going to have to interchange and be a little bit careful how we manage our wide receivers. But that's it.
Yeah, and
the rest of our team is set it and forget it.
And if you look every year in wide receivers, when you look at your top 20 wide receivers in the year, half of them are not guys that you thought were going to be top 10 or top 30 guys. Like Robbie Anderson last year came out of nowhere and ended up in the top 20.
Marvin Jones finished as a wide receiver 1 last year, and he was almost undrafted in most leagues.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like Corey Davis. I think a lot of people are down on you love Corey Davis.
I do. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if I'm ready to jump off this wagon yet, but I do like the guy.
And we're talking 7th round with Corey Davis.
He's so fast. No, he was the number 1 receiver out of the draft last year.
Yeah.
He's not as fast as John Ross, but the guy's got way more upside. He was a Bronco, too, by the way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys here that I do want to start looking at because we're going to be coming up. The thing we have to worry about is I would like to get another running back at some point. We don't need to do it now. We could actually go with a Rashad Penny or another one of these running backs that's probably not going to start this season. So there's a lot of these teams are probably going to stay away from like these rookie running backs that aren't solidified their roles or anything yet. So we could go with a Sony Michel. Because if he comes back mid-season and takes that job, if Burkhead misses any time, that could be a great – with our team, the way our team need is, we don't have to play him.
No.
We can let him sit on a bench and just wait it out.
Which is why we were willing to wait on Carry-On.
Yeah, I think the team that has Carry-On might get frustrated pretty soon too. We can either try to make a trade for him or maybe wait for him to drop him because he doesn't need him either. He has 3 solid running backs. He could also wait as well.
And maybe even drop him.
Yeah.
And we'll just scoop him up.
Yeah.
We're just going to go in there and take him. Jamal Williams just went.
Okay, about to our pick here. We're one pick away. We're in kind of conundrum right now because we're trying to figure out what we want to do. Top of the board doesn't look. We have Brady, Olsen, Fuller, Breeze, Edelman, Cam Newton, Kyle Rudolph, Chris Thompson. Nothing looks nice up there. So we might. Thing you have to do when you're at the end of a draft, if you're in like the first 2 or the last 2 positions, you kind of have to reach, right, Josh? I mean, because you're not going to get the guys you want. You can't bank on them falling back to you.
No, you have to reach a little bit. And so the Green Bay guys that I want just went, Jamal and Aaron Jones. I don't want any of these other guys because we don't need them. We don't need a tight end. We don't need another quarterback. So what I'm thinking we should do, instead of Chris Thompson, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, is maybe go Sony Michel and Robbie Anderson.
Yeah. Sony Michel's knees scare me, but we don't have to play him.
We don't. He'd be our number 4 running back.
Sony Michel just went, so guess what? We don't have to worry about that now.
We're going to take Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, we'll draft Robbie Anderson here, and we'll see what comes back around to us. It gives us another wide receiver to plug in there. The Jets are going to be bad. They're going to throw the ball. Yeah.
So let's look at these running backs. Let's see who we got here.
Because I do want to grab another running back because we do have to start filling in. We kind of have to look at bye weeks going on here. Chris Thompson's there. Marlon Mack's there. The good thing about Marlon Mack is we don't have to play him right away. So with that hamstring, we can wait for it to get right.
Yeah, but this is where the round where we really have to grab another one. So we got Chris Thompson, Marlon Mack, C.J. Anderson, Duke Johnson, Nick Chubb, James White, Corey Clement. So for me, it comes down to really those 2 guys, Chris Thompson and Marlon Mack.
Yeah, I don't want C.J. Anderson because I don't think he's getting touchdown work.
I don't think he's going to get nearly any work.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be C-Mac. Run CMC. So
being half point, I wish Marlon Mack's hamstring was good. If Marlon Mack's hamstring was good, we would have taken him instead of Robbie Anderson probably.
Adrian Peterson's still out there.
Yeah. So Mike Williams just went, which that's a really good wide receiver pick there.
It is. It has a good job.
Something I wanted to ask, do you want to go DJ Moore here?
No, this is too early for
Too
DJ.
early? Try to wait for him to hopefully fall to us in the next round? I do like DJ Moore this year.
I think he can fall to us in the next round.
Okay.
So I think we need to get a 4th running back here.
All right.
And because there's not going to be a lot left. So he went with Mike Williams, so that means one of those 2 guys will be there. For me, I think we can wait on Marlon Mack's hamstring.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I like him better than I like Chris Thompson.
Yeah, if this was full point PPR, I'd probably be all over Chris Thompson.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he is the passing down guy there.
The problem with him, though, is we can't use him on our bye week because that's when Joe Mixon has it.
Yeah, we could take Chris Thompson. He has that early bye week, and he would get out of the way before our bye weeks would come in, and we could just plug him in as needed. That's the good thing about Chris Thompson with a week 4 bye.
And, honestly, with Adrian Peterson there, we know Chris Thompson is going to be on the field in 3rd down.
Yeah. And David Njoku just went. So it's up to you, Josh. You take the pick of which one you want, Chris Thompson, Marlon Mack. Either way, it doesn't bother you. We took Chris Thompson there.
I just feel it in my gut. I feel like the Indianapolis situation, Jordan Wilkins, Naeem Hines, Robert Turbin.
And they're not a good offensive line.
Yeah, they don't
forget.
Yeah, they don't have – none of those guys have a clear-cut, carved-out role. We know what Chris Thompson – and he's electric.
Yeah, and it's half point, so you still do get a little bit of play on those receptions.
Yeah, so I feel okay with it. He's going to be our bye week guy.
Yeah, and we don't have to start him. If he starts blowing up like he did last year, obviously we'll throw him in there. And if we have any, if anybody like Joe Mixon or Jordan Howard, we get any of those injury bugs that come along with players, we have somebody to plug in there.
Our team is looking good, guys. So now, whenever it comes back around, we're not touching
I'm looking
quarterbacks.
at DJ Moore on the way back through.
You know what?
That's what I really want to do is DJ Moore on the way back through. Because
You know what,
all
Brad?
our positions are filled except defense and kicker.
Brad, we're going to go get you DJ Moore.
I mean, if he's there, those lotto tickets, baby. Got to buy you some scratchers.
We'll get you DJ Moore. How about that?
I mean, we can
No,
do
we'll
it
get
there.
him.
We can try to do it on the turn if he's sitting there.
No, we'll get you DJ Moore, Brad. It's happening.
Any thought of looking at a defense?
So this is actually an interesting question that you posed to me. And so you always try to learn from people that you see do things and the things that you like. So if I'm going to take workout advice, I'm not going to take workout advice from a guy who looks like me. Because if you look at me, you can tell I don't know what the hell I'm doing in the gym. I'm going to take a guy that looks like a Greek god. I'm going to take work. So I watched people who were successful last year, like you, in fantasy championships, and taking a defense that is a set it and forget it defense is not a bad idea.
No, I just worry about taking defense a little too early. And you run into problems of you still have to kind of play matchups with defense. Even your best defense, Jacksonville, is going to have down weeks where they're not stopping everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I feel like we can still go and get more. This is in a league with people who do this like us, podcasters. So they're probably not even looking at defenses yet. They'll laugh at us if we take one. I don't care about being laughed at. What I care about is fucking winning. Excuse my language. I get revved up. Make sure you bleep that out later, Brad.
Yeah.
Because I got a little carried away, but I do want to win this thing, man.
No, I do too. I told you. So I would not be opposed to the idea if DJ Moore's there in round 10. Because we're talking round 10 now. Taking DJ Moore in round 10. And then 11. Let's see what's out there. You know, Cam keeps falling. Honestly, I don't even care that we have a quarterback. I might go 2 dang quarterbacks.
I mean, I don't hate Cam Newton. If Tom Brady still falls to us again, which I don't think he will, I'll take Brady.
Yeah, we have to look at our bye weeks of their quarterbacks. Obviously, I don't want 2 quarterbacks on the same pie. And I don't like to carry 2 quarterbacks. We have Russell Wilson. We don't need another quarterback. We're not going to start anybody over Russell Wilson.
Unless it's Brady.
I'm not starting him over then.
Oh, I might start Brady over him, depending on the matchup. It doesn't matter. We're not probably going to take a quarterback anyway. We're going to look at our options here. Marlon Mack is still actually there. Greg Olsen just went. So more quarterbacks and tight ends are going. Jamison Crowder's there, who I actually like a lot as far as my receivers go. We already took Chris Thompson, but remember, we don't have to start him. I think Jamison Crowder is going to be the sleeper this year, and he's going to be the one who emerges out of Washington. Kelvin Benjamin, I also like him. There's some options here, dude.
Oh, we have tons of options.
I feel good. And now I don't feel bad about reaching to get the guys that we want.
All right, so bad news, all you wagon wheelers. DJ Moore just went off the board 2 picks before we got back around. So now we're looking. Marlon Mack's still on the board. We might even go Marlon Mack now. We were kind of between him last time. He's got the hamstring injury, but we don't have to play him. We do need to grab a wide receiver here, but we'll probably get him on a turn. We could go Pierre Garçon, which will give us another safe floor guy. We could even go Robert Woods, who I know you and Pat are really high on. It's 11th round, man. We're talking 11th round, Josh. Josh is making faces over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys like Sterling Shepard. There's a number 1 receiver in Dallas.
Alan Hearns. I don't even know if he's the number 1. So I'm thinking first pick, we do Marlon Mack if he's there. He's probably going to go because we said his name, so he's probably going to go.
We could even wait for Julian Edelman and take him.
Yeah, so we could do Julian. Half-point PPR, I think, is what's scaring a lot of people on Julian Edelman because he doesn't get touchdowns.
Okay, so let's go Marlon Mack then.
Yeah, and if Julian Edelman falls back around, we could snatch him up maybe.
I would rather go Julian or Marlon Mack, and I really like Pierre. Oh, well, there's Marlon Mack off the board.
Okay, so now we got to think what we're going to do with first pick. We could take Jordy here. This one's for Pat. Pat's high on Jordy. We probably should make 1 pick for Pat. We haven't done one this whole time. We're taking his boy Jordy. Pat, this one's for you.
I'm just going to let you know, Pat, this really hurts my heart, but I love you.
Yeah, we'll do Jordy there because he may or may not come back around. We don't have to start him.
Ever. But he'll just be on our team just for Pat.
So do you want to go another receiver or do we want to get a Duke Johnson type?
So the guy that I'm really looking at right now is Garcon.
What about Ty Montgomery?
No, I don't like Ty Montgomery, especially in half point or standard leagues. Kelvin Benjamin, Pierre Garçon, and maybe Sterling Shepard or Allen Hurns. Those are the guys that I like.
Well, I made the Jordy thing, so you gotta just make this pick here. Latavius Murray just went.
So for me, I know you don't like it, but I think Benji might be my guy.
Okay.
Benji or Garçon?
I just don't know how Buffalo's offense is going to look this year.
Benji or Garçon?
Garçon looked good in the last preseason game. He actually was out targeting Marcus Goodwin and outproduced him with the targets he got.
He did break his neck last year.
Yeah. And what happened after Peyton Manning broke his neck? Won a Super Bowl. And put up the best years the quarterback's ever put up.
Well, the defense had a lot to do with that.
Okay, the best year the quarterback put up, he did that too.
That is true.
After like a third broken neck.
All right, so after Latavius Murray, Kenny Stills went, ugh, gross. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and take Pierre Garçon.
Pierre Garçon.
We'll see you guys after the break.
Oh. All right, so we're one pick away from our pick here. Kelvin Benjamin's still on the board. I think, unless this dude snatches him right for us, I think that's where we're going. Josh is all hyped up about it. He's doing laughs and backflips off tables. And
At this point in the draft, this is the 12th round, the 8th pick of the 12th round. If we get, this would be the 9th pick, excuse me. You get Kelvin Benjamin here, he would be our 6th receiver.
And he just went, boom, you say the name, he goes. It's fact. So now we have no idea what we're going to do.
Son of a gun. Well, we could take the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Or the Chargers defense is there, Texans defense. I don't really care for any of those defenses.
I don't want a defense right now, dude. I want a running back.
The running back I like is Bilal Powell. But he's kind of lower on the spectrum. He did start the third preseason game for the Jets. We go Calvin Ridley if you still want to go wide receiver, but I don't think he's going to be good.
Alabama.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so we can look down here. I don't think we need to worry about tight end so much.
There's Michael Gallup.
I mean, I'm fine with Michael Gallup. We didn't get DJ Moore, the guy we wanted. I think Michael Gallup's got a role in Dallas.
There we go. We're taking him. And
taking Michael Gallup, and then if Bilal Powell falls to us, I think we're going to snatch up Bilal Powell here. And that will put us with only 3 picks left. I mean, Steven Gostkowski's still out there, you know.
Anthony Miller. So we're starting to see a lot more of these rookie wide receivers go.
And this is the time you take those flyers on some people, you know.
Absolutely.
We talked about lotto tickets, and I'll burn that thing into the ground, just run it down there, shoot it to the floor.
So let's talk about Bilal Powell, right? So we're taking him in the 13th round. Let's talk about why you like him here.
Okay, so Isaiah Crowell has already had a concussion problem in preseason. The third preseason game, Isaiah Crowell was healthy, and Bilal Powell still got the start, got the work.
Okay.
He's already going to be the passing down guy there. Elijah McGuire, they've already said, is not going to be ready to start the season. He may start on the pup, and if he starts on the pup, that's all the way out to week 8. And they're going to be a team that's probably behind. The defense is going to be suspect there. The quarterback's probably going to get them in a lot of trouble. They're going to be probably passing the ball a lot. So I think Bilal Powell, as a passing down guy, is going to be great. And we're talking 5th running back. Like, there's no reason we have to start him, but we can. And he has a late bye, a week 11 bye, which kind of means he fills in. And there we just took him.
There you go.
Cool. All right, so coming back around to us, we're looking at possibly taking a defense here. Eagles defense is on the board. Ravens defense is on the board. Josh, you leading the Eagles?
I like Eagles.
All right, if you're taking this, I'm taking my guy with the next pick.
All right, who's your guy?
Steven Gostkowski. Pat's going to throw up a little bit.
We want to clarify why we're doing this in the 14th and 15th round as opposed to the 15th and 16th when people normally take these positions. With our 16th round pick, Brad.
You want to go ahead and take Gostkowski? We're on the clock here. We'll draft ours, so nobody has to wait on us while we talk.
We're doing this because we're going to have, on our 16th round, someone that we don't care about.
Yeah, so we're going to take like a super deep sleeper, a guy that if he doesn't pan out or it doesn't start week 1 or doesn't do it, we don't care.
Who cares?
He's waiver wire fodder, right? Let's admit it. Last year, Tariq Cohen, nobody saw that coming. So you were grabbing on your bench and you were dumping a player as fast as you could to pick up Tariq the Freak. But now, so we're kind of doing something similar to this. We're going to pick a guy up. I'm thinking, like, is Mike Gesicki still on the board out there? Like, I'm talking super deep guys. Mike Gesicki's still there. If he doesn't do anything week 1 in Miami, I don't care.
You don't care?
Yeah. Like, it doesn't hurt us. It's not going to hurt us.
There's also other guys that I like Matt Burita.
Matt Burita's there, right? So if that shoulder comes back good, we also got, if you scroll down a little bit, Burita might not even make it this far. We got Samaje Perine, right? Chris Godwin, if we want another wide receiver. Tampa says they're moving him to the outside.
There's Kenny Dix, who I know you like.
Yep. Kenneth Dixon.
There's Antonio Callaway from Cleveland. I don't really care about that, especially now that Flash is back. Chris Ivory in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. If anything happens with LaShawn McCoy, what's going on there? We could even take our handcuff right now. I don't suggest drafting your handcuff. We could take our handcuff for Todd Gurley, who had a really good preseason game. John Kelly.
And he's our throwaway guy.
He's a throwaway guy. We really don't need him. But if, heaven forbid, something happens to Todd Gurley week 1, it happened to David Johnson last year.
It did. So I'm completely fine with it.
We take a John Kelly or a Mark Walton, maybe. I mean, these are just names we're kind of throwing out here. Talk it out. Kristen Michael.
Kyle Jakuzic.
Kristen Michael, the awakening,
Is he awake, though?
He started their preseason game.
James Conner.
He's not in the backup anymore. They drafted a guy.
No, he's the backup, and he's looked really good this preseason. Okay, well, there's that. We'll take a break. We'll figure out what we're doing.
And then we'll close out this show. All right, so this ends the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. That was the end of the draft. There was no 16th round, I guess. So, for Brad, for Josh, I'm going to see you all later. See you next week. I don't know how to end these things. Pat, we miss you. We need you.
We definitely need you. Our team was thick. Russell Wilson, Todd Gurley, Jordan Howard, Jarvis Landry, Corey Davis, Zach Ertz, Joe Mixon, Steven Gostkowski, Philadelphia Eagles defense, Robbie Anderson, Chris Thompson, Jordy Nelson for Pat, Pierre Garcon, Michael Gallup, and Bilal Powell. We are looking nice.
Pow, pow.
Later.